Bringing back all those late night memories of staying up to watch The Fast and the Furious, the Penumbra FF hit the Los Santos sales floors ready to take on all challengers, but it's going to take a lot more than a quarter-mile drag race to impress me with this car. So without taking up too much of your time, let's get right into it. With a price tag of $1.3 million, it's definitely not going to be covered by the local police department to earn the respect of the local street racers. In fact, you'll probably see this in more Los Santos Customs car shows than you will on the racetracks. Its moderate speed definitely make it fun to drive around the streets of Los Santos, but compared to other faster cars like the Pariah or the Jugular, it just doesn't keep up. But don't take my word for it, let's take it to our super top secret test track located at the Los Santos airport to get some more hands-on experience with it. Coming off the line and through the first turn, you can definitely see that this thing has some speed behind it, but can it keep it in the corners? Coming up to the third corner here, you're going to see that it's going to lose a lot of speed coming through the corners. It just doesn't have the handling to handle those the way that it should. Coming out to the straightaway, you're going to definitely see an increase in speed, but nothing insane. Coming up to this left turn here, it gets a little too close to the inside line. I didn't want to take it that far in. Coming up to the horseshoe here, you definitely see a huge loss in speed as I take that turn a little bit wrong, but coming up to this right corner leading to the straightaway, you're going to definitely see its handling potential. It handles that turn perfectly and goes straight into the acceleration coming along the straightaway. Maintaining that acceleration as well, it didn't feel like it topped out at all. It felt like it still wanted more. It still wanted to keep climbing. Coming through the right turn here, you can definitely see that it keeps that speed through the turns easily. Coming up to Big Bend to take that huge turn and maintain speed through it. Can definitely see it handles that with no problem. Coming up to the last bit of the race here where we can really see if it's going to handle well in those tight hairpin turns. Handles this like a dream, not a problem at all. This is where I got a little bit worried. Coming through here, I did notice a little bit of oversteer going into the corner, but it easily corrected itself and handled the rest of the race like no problem at all. With a stock lap time of 1 minute 19 seconds, it's just as fast as a modded Karen Futo, which doesn't sound like that big of a deal till you consider the price tag of 1.3 million. In fact, it's not till you apply some mods that you really get to see what this Buster is capable of. Going back to my statement about seeing this in more car shows than racetracks, to say that this car has a few more customization options than your typical sports car is an understatement. You can change everything on this car from bumpers to seats to sun strips, and for a sports car the upgrades are reasonable. For just under 300k I was able to change just about everything on the car, but what does it get you? Let's take a look at the fully modded version back on the secret test track. Coming into the first corner, you can definitely see the improvements that the upgrades have made. Handling these turns a lot better than it had in the previous lap when it was still stock. Even that turn there is an enormous improvement based on the previous laps. Coming into the right-hand turn here, it does go a little bit wide, but it reins it back in pretty easily. It wasn't too difficult. This turn I did bugger up a little bit. I didn't quite like the way that I did it, but it definitely did it better than the first lap. Now coming up to the right-hand turn into the straightaway, you can definitely see that it is much faster than previously done with the stock version of the car. And even going along here, it still felt like it just wanted to keep going. It just wanted to keep going the straight line as fast as possible. Coming into the right turn, heading towards Big Bend, it still handles no problem at all, and it handles Big Bend probably easier than it did the first time. Now coming up to the final bit of the race here, we're going to definitely see if there's been any improvement to the way that it handles that very tight left-hand turn going into the right-hand turn. Let's take a look and see if it had any improvements. An easy improvement, not even a worry at all. Just straight through, no problems whatsoever. So after throwing around 300k into the car, you can definitely see a difference in performance. Taking about 9 seconds off the time is no small feat, and in my opinion definitely worth the price. Even if you just do the performance upgrades, you're going to get your money's worth. Now it's still no Pariah or Jugular, but in my opinion it's still a fantastic car to drive. It grips to the road like glue, turns on a dime, and the acceleration is there to match. Perfect for showing some scrubs up at a car show or just taking a nice cruise to the streets of Los Santos. So in closing, is the Penumbra FF worth the money? Yes, you're probably not going to set any lap times in it, but driving it down the mountain bends with my favorite song playing as the sun sets behind me is some of the most fun I've had driving in GTA for a while. The way it handles the turns while also holding its own on the straightaways and looking fantastic while doing it makes the car so worth it. So don't be a buster and go check it out for yourself. Thanks for stopping by and have a great night.